What's up, everybody? Jason Fager here, the High Side Hustler. We do something a little different today. Had to come down to Springfield for the Mars banquet, so we headed a little bit further west to my good buddy Brian Shirley's place. A lot of you probably have seen a tour there on Flow and stuff. They've done a bunch of stuff here before, but I don't know, I thought we'd tell maybe a couple stories and some history and stuff like that. And we've been good buds for a long time, and it's kind of crazy. We both started racing late models the same year, 2002. So kind of another angle I wanted to throw at people too is a lot of people probably don't know, but like we both pretty much came from nothing. Like I remember I didn't know Brian at all, and he ran a mod a little bit, and he ran some flat track motorcycles, and he showed up in a old used up GRT and a little bitty enclosed trailer that like you wouldn't even think you'd put a modified in, but he'd roll a late model out of it. And you know, I had a used Masterbuilt and borrowing trailers to get to the track and trucks. And you know, we've both had, I feel like, great careers and some different paths. But once we got to be buddies there, and we've always had each other's back and tried to do as much as we could for each other, and we still do. That's why you see us as much as we can. We're parked next to each other and helping each other out, and you know, especially when we're back in the same chassis, it benefits both of us. Yeah,
I'm about like what you said. I mean, I feel like if there's a race that we're not parked, you know, next to each other. From the beginning, the early days, heck, you bought that one trailer off of me once I went to
Petrov.
Petrov. I think after that, you bought that one.
Was that the green hauler you would have got, or would it have been a white one first?
White one first.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've
That's right.
Neck and neck on grinding this sport together. That in today's world, I don't believe there's many that it would do what we've done.
No.
You know, it's turned into such a expensive sport that I don't know that you could do what we did to get to where
it would definitely take some luck or the right people or something to get behind you. It definitely is a lot harder. Even like the little things, like, so we were both ran UMP Rookie of the Year, used to be a pretty big deal, and we had a really tough class, and you know, Brian won, and he got a Rayburn chassis out of the deal. CJ would always give a chassis to the winner of the Rookie of the Year, which, I mean, that was huge. I mean, for anybody, I mean, obviously, you know, that got you a good car, and then you did good, and CJ always helped you a lot, and, you know, got you going down that Rayburn path, which was really good, you know, for you at that point.
Yep.
And, you know, but like, they don't do that anymore, but I guess a chassis is probably a couple grand back then too. So a lot different.
Yeah, for him back then, he was a huge help into that, you know, role of helping that little guy. I mean, that guy, you could show up at his place and he would say, here, listen, man, you know, if you said, hey, I only got $6,000-7,000, you know, it may not have been the perfect thing that you wanted, but he got you in something.
Yeah,
you know?
CJ helped a lot of people.
Helped a lot of people. And, you know, thinking about us, I mean, I was actually thinking about that when he was coming up. You know, we've ride and died together. You know, like I said, we don't have to talk every day to know where our friendship is.
Yeah.
Even though we do talk a lot, but at the end of the day, I know when I see you, I know what you mean to me, and vice versa. I mean,
yeah.
You know that here the last couple of weeks and maybe even the last month, I mean, I've called you a couple of times when I've been on the road and picked your brain and said, hey, you know, how you feel about this, or what, you know, to help me when I'm out there on my own, because I am out there on my own, you know, trying to, you know, beat some of these guys.
Yeah.
And it's
tough.
A lot easier when you got somebody like he was talking about, you know, you and Mark, you know, working a little bit together, that you just have somebody to bounce some things off of.
Yeah, so, for sure. Well, I mean, that's just where we're at as a sport right now. You got to have a guy on the outside that can watch a car and tune on it. It's a lot easier for a guy on the outside, I feel like, than it is actually for the driver to feel the little changes that you got to feel to be fast now. It's so hard to feel, you know, one round or one packer, or just whether you're down in the right front or up in the right rear, just where the platform's at, because and I feel, especially with this new tire, it makes it even harder to feel the car. The old tire, I felt like, was just gave you a lot more consistent feeling and made it easier to feel the car, and for me anyway, it's made it a lot harder to know when to do what adjustments with this new tire.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know,
that was the only good thing when Albie'd come here and there, is having somebody with a little bit of, you just don't, you know, and even yourself, I feel like, you know, obviously having Red Beer around now, you know, putting a solid crew around you with David, everybody knowing their program, it's obviously showed how successful your program can be with the right people helping you get better than just
Yeah.
you doing
Well,
it.
and I mean, I feel like I've taken a big page from you because, like, you did that in Rocket for so many years. You whooped us all them nights by just qualifying good, winning a heat race, and setting yourself up on the front row. But you had such a good notebook, and you never panicked, you never freaked out. You always kept in that little realm. And you know, would be making big changes and this and that, and you always just stay patient, let it come to you. But you had a good notebook and good setups to get in that ballpark. And I mean, that's kind of where we're at now, just being in that Longhorn since 22 now. I mean, I feel like we very rarely unload bad. And I mean, you know, if you unload and you hot lap fast, that's a way better deal, because if you unload and you hot lap bad, you're already one step behind somebody that hot lap good. Now they made another step faster. So just being able to do that and then not have to really, you know, freak out or make big changes and just being comfortable is a big thing. So, you know, just keeping that notebook and taking better notes than I ever have, and worrying about that stuff's made a big difference.
Yep. Yeah. Listen, I mean, I know many a times I felt like, you know, I was being hunted by you, and I knew I didn't really probably have the best car, but the fact that I was in front of you, you know, it's so hard to pass in these cars anymore. But like you said, just getting and being in that position, whether it's qualifying or heat race position, putting you in order to pill draw, being able to get in, you know, it's easier to get wide and do a little, you know, blocking. I've always said I'll take the soft, and then if I got to hang on, it always
it's a lot easier to start up there and try to hang on than it is to have to dig through the field, especially nowadays. It happens, but not like it used to. It's definitely gotten a lot harder there. So, I mean, we both probably really got to be real close when we both got the Pierce cars. Like I'd say, right? So probably.
I forget what even year that was. That was 2012.
No, before that, because I got in it in 09.
Yeah, I think I was 010 maybe.
Yeah.
It was because of you I got them.
I was in them in 07 or 8. I think maybe late 07 and early 08. I know 08, and then you came like a year after I built that Scorpion and got it rolling good, and then you came, and then we really. Yeah, we started. Honestly, yeah, it was me, you, and you know, Super Shep got one, and Sheppy was pretty young at that, but me, you, and Sheppy had a really good team going there for a long time, and you know, just basically open notes, and we really got, you know, because we were on an island, it was just kind of us at that time, and we really got those things dialed in and going real good, and that's just kind of, you know, formed a mentality. Even still with Sheppy, with both of us, I mean, we all three still have that, you know, try to help each other go as good as we can, you know.
Yep. No, I agree. That was a pivotal time in everybody's career, whether it was even Sheppy, because Sheppy got, you know, noticed by Mark because of how well he was doing. You know, me and you, it helped us, you know, thrive here in UMP country to help us keep going, because obviously we needed to be winning and running good to keep us, you know, to pay the bills. Yeah. Because I remember at that time it was even worse, as felt like we raced all year just to race to pay all the bills.
Yeah.
And then you were done. So
if you're lucky.
Yeah, and that's so. I definitely feel like them were years that we were lucky enough that we did bond together and work together to be, you know, a Midwest dominance there for them years. I mean, there was a couple years between me and you. I don't know that anybody, if it wasn't me and you winning, they didn't win much here around here. And
for sure.
Even then you broke off.
Moyer might sneak a couple and Bab might sneak a couple, but for the most part it was, or Dennis, but for the most part, we covered them pretty good.
You know, nationally there, you were starting to put your name on the board. You had some big wins, you know, big results in some bigger races there that really helped us, you know, show that our cars were pretty good there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but we put a lot of work in it. I mean, we did, you know, worked hard on it. So
drove to Oakwood a lot. You know, I mean, when they were on the jig, me and you both were over there and BP helping us get them where we needed to be.
Yeah, for sure. And then, I don't know, should I tell them the Bob Cullen story?
Yeah. I mean, heck, that was, so, I mean, the people that know, I mean, it's.
Yeah, so kind of crazy, like, I kind of got squirreled the Bob Cullen ride. And, you know, Dan Sleeper was driving for Bob, and I didn't know Bob, and they were trying to run some summer nationals, and Dan kind of was at the, you know, wasn't as good as he had been, you know, in years past, and they were trying to, you know, at that time, Bob Cullen was just dealing with Bob Pierce all the time, and Dan's like, let's talk to Fager. So they brought their car to my house, and I set it all up and stuff, and I mean, that's when I had been running really good, and that's kind of how I got to know Bob, and I mean, really, it just was it was an okay Pierce car motor, and they had an older S&S. I mean, he had okay. It wasn't like it was anything crazy or nothing, you know. And I didn't know Bob at all. I think he'd raced a little pavement stuff and maybe ran a little bit of dirt.
Grand National stuff up there.
And then Dan was in the car, and I don't know. I went to Cedar Lake. That was when we went to Summer Nationals at Cedar Lake, and I won one. I ran, I think, second. The other one, I probably should have won that one. I was passing Frankie, and we bumped, and it let Jimmy sneak by me. But my car, I had it dialed in really good. And then for whatever reason, Dan and Bob had a little falling out, and Bob really wanted somebody in his car at Cedar Lake.
Well, he ended up having a blood clot.
Yeah, in his leg or something. Yeah, and he couldn't drive.
He was getting it fixed with you. He was having you tune the car up for Cedar Lake for Dan to drive, and then that's what Bob was. You know, he wasn't mad, but he was just like, man, I spent all this money for this race, and then that's when he actually told me he wanted you to drive it.
Yeah, he did. He wanted me to drive it, and
you just had your stuff going so good.
I mean, I just went up there and won and ran second. Should have won both big races. Now we're going up there for, to me, one of the coolest trophies there is. And we love going to Cedar Lake. And I'm like, man, my car was just dialed in so good at that point. I didn't want to just jump into another car. And he's like, well, do you know anybody else who might drive it? And I'm like, you were, I think, in the Rocket and kind of struggling a little bit. And
well, I was getting ready to quit too. That was my deal, was separating. Riggs and I were, you know, at the end of the year. So we had already kind of slowed down, and I wasn't going to Cedar Lake. Yeah,
you weren't going to Cedar Lake. So I said, well, I don't think Brian's going. I said, you want me to ask him? He's like, well, I've always thought he's a good driver. Yeah, see if he will. And you're like, so you set it all up and did all this? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, yeah, I'll go drive it. And Brian goes up there and drives it. I don't think made a race. Didn't really do no good.
I mean, I think we did make the race itself, but we didn't do. And we didn't do great. And then he come home. And he just asked my opinion on like if I wanted to race nationally. He said, "What would you do?" And that's when I said, "Hey, listen, you know, we've always, it's no different than Longhorns. You pride yourself off the national teams."
Yeah.
And at that time, you know, obviously I was with Rocket, and I just said, "Listen, if you're gonna try and beat the national guys, you know, Rocket cars, Durham Motors, and next thing you know, this guy's freaking
all in.
Yeah,
wanting to go racing.
Wanting to go racing full time and." I think we went and the next year we went a little bit here and there, just getting used to everything. And then, man, that following year he was 100% committed. Cars, motors, I mean, and luckily ever since then.
Yeah, it's been
10 years.
Yeah, it's a long time, and especially in this sport. And I feel like Bob. I mean, obviously, I know Bob, and I like Bob a lot because he's just one of them guys. There's no filter. He says whatever he's thinking. He's not going to sugarcoat it. And I like that. Like, he's a hard coach, and he's going to tell you if you don't want to hear something, he's telling you anyway. If you need to hear it, which we need that a lot, right? Whether it's business or life. And he also has an ability that we've gotten better at as we've gotten older, but when we're younger, it's really hard in this sport to look at it like a business because we're doing it because we love it. It's a lot of fun. You built a lot of relationships with chassis people, motor people, part suppliers, and you know, if this motor was failing you, you know, if you were blowing up motors on a semi, you would switch brand semis if that was your job. Like, you're not going to, or equipment or anything. And like, we struggle to do that in this sport, is make good business decisions. And Bob's kind of, I felt like I've got a lot of it from him or Tim Lance, and we both did. Like, he's like, it's like a business decision. Like, if it's costing your business money, you got to make a change. You got to do this. You got to do that. And then
a little easier for them because they can afford the hit.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference of us.
Yeah.
Taking that hit a little bit.
And they don't really look at it more like loyalty too, because like they kind of separate friendship from business, right? And you know, and we've kind of, the way we had to build some relationships and get product and stuff like that, it's hard thing to do because, you know, we've been friends with, and relationships with these people for a long time, so it's kind of like breaking up with girlfriends sometime when you got to switch or this or that. But if it's best for you in the business, then you got to do it, and you know, it makes it easier to make that decision when you got somebody like that has a successful business that can back you and be like, bam, this is what we need to do. We need to go this route, you know? Yeah,
I do feel like that is something that them guys, like you said, Bob and Tim, you know, and it's happened to me many times where I kind of feel like we always get kind of, I wouldn't say stuck in a rut, but we do the same routine. We go through the same process. And at some point in time, you know, Bob will step in if we're not, you know, having some success, and they'll say, hey, this is what I view, this is what I see, and you got to take it from them because they are, you know, they didn't become not successful by not knowing, you know, what is better things to do.
And then the other aspect to that business side of things, which like I never really thought of till, you know, as we've gotten older, but like, you know, we're racing because we love it. We're not business. We're not businessmen. We don't run business.
No.
But then if you look at how much money runs through our account each year, now we're dealing with employees. You got multiple vehicles. You got all these cars, all these motors. Like there's a lot of money that runs through the account this year. Doesn't mean there's, you're making it, spending it. Like it's hard. Like we're really managing a really big business, and that's not what we're good at. We're good at, working on race cars and driving race cars. So it's really a different mentality to look at that side of things. And then I know it's helped to have that, mentors like that and stuff do it, and it changes the way we look at things. But it's just a lot of people don't realize that at the smaller level, like you are running a business and it's a lot of money. And the more you get, it's a lot. And it's a lot of stress.
It is, especially for somebody like yourself that's still on the, owning your own team personally, trying to make it happen. You are right. Like, luckily, I am lucky. I have someone on the outside looking in, because I, don't look at the numbers as I had to before.
Yeah.
Now it's, hey, this is a business. I look at it, hey, what do I got to do to best perform as far as, if we need this certain product, or if this thing's what we need to win the race this week, we got to get it. Where I got somebody, like you said, in the background, seeing what numbers are going through, looking at saying, hey, are we, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? Are we spending too much money here?
Yeah.
So it's easier for me than a guy like yourself that's got to manage it all.
Yeah.
And then you're right. It's, you were born to race a race car, a mechanic style person. You didn't say, here, now I got to, do the business side of this and manage, $500,000 to $1 million operation. It's easy to say that we're running through $500,000 through the season, no matter what, is easy. So coming from us, we're just high school educated.
Yeah.
And, now you're wanting to do what you did. I remember you and your brother, the first time we met, your brother told me, he said, man, wouldn't it be awesome just to live like some rock stars, go to the races, party, race night in, night out. And I was thinking, man, that was the dream.
It was the
like
dream.
You were living like a rock star, man. You got to race, night in, night out.
Rock stars without guitars.
That's right.
What Scott said,
It's always what we laugh is this job's, every day's better than a bad day at work.
Yeah.
It's not always great. It's not always fun. It's not always easy. But boy, we ain't going into the office with a suit on.
No.
We ain't listening to anybody tell us what we have to do. And so, we live our life. It's as flexible as owning our own business.
Yeah.
It's really how it is.
Yeah.
So, and we've got to travel the world doing it.
Meet a lot of people and have a lot of fun.
Meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
win a lot of races.
That's right. Yeah. We've been fortunate that.
And a lot of 1 and 2s.
Yeah. I could only imagine how many times we've ran first or second in the Midwest here.
Yeah.
And had a lot of fun. Like I said, I was thinking of you when you told me you was coming up yesterday. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, I think about you. Kyle's a good buddy of mine now, but me and you've been riding long time, and it doesn't matter whether, if I'm out west and I'm coming back to Illinois, I know that, my parking spot where it's at. So
yeah, for sure.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But I don't know. Have we got any other stories or anything else?
I don't know that we've had anything crazy. You have the crazier stories. Obviously, I'm the one that, I sit solo in my, it's crazy because what about they always thought we was crazy because you guys were 180 from personalities as far as after the races.
Yeah, you're in bed.
Yeah, I'm in bed. You guys are,
and we're out drinking beer,
having fun, and it's fine. Like
not so much anymore. We're in bed a lot earlier nowadays.
Yeah. But in the beginning, they just thought it was crazy because we was such opposite.
Yeah. We're such good buddies.
Yeah, that we were friends because obviously we didn't. And I hang out. It's no different than like at Fairbury. Like when nothing's bad's happening. I enjoy hanging out with you guys.
And in the day still, you got a boss now.
Yeah.
In
today's world, I do.
And you might be able to be out drinking beer and perform the next day, but the second you're out drinking beer and you don't perform the next day, you could get questions like, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't have been doing this, right?" But the world's changed too. Like when we started, everybody was out drinking all night. And I knew Berkey and Timmy and Scott and even Moyer, like everybody was out drinking, out, hanging out all night, having a good time. Now, most of these young guys, they're not doing that. They're in bed, they're behaving, and they're in better shape than we are. They're younger than we are. Like,
and the
it's
cars
tough.
Take so much.
Oh, it's nuts. That's the thing. The work. That's
the work ethic.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch that on that. Like, that's what people don't realize now is like the amount of work that these cars require is just insane.
Because you got to get up early.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't even know I don't even know the number value, but there has to be probably at least 10 times as much maintenance as when we started. Like,
listen,
if you want to go fast and win races, you have to do it.
You have to.
You have to do it.
The old Rayburn car, you lived on the inch and eighth wrench. I mean, the pull rod you moved.
Yeah. $12 Heims, $35 uppers, $15 ball joints.
$100 in shocks. I mean, you never took them off.
Yeah, you know, you take a round out here, you take a round. You didn't even take shocks off. You just put a round in, a round out. There wasn't no adjusting. Like,
maybe you beat the body out. You know, like life was easy.
it was insane.
Now you're performing what you want your car to look good because of the air.
We're hunting 16ths. We're smashing 4 bars. We're constantly smashing dyno and shocks and springs, and then you know the demand on the motor now is so much harder than it is. So then you know just trying to stay on top of valve springs and spark plugs, and that adds into everything. And it's just the attention to detail. It's so crazy how just a little bit now, like we didn't even have a clue what it. Nobody had a clue what they were doing back then, and you know we still won races and had a great time. But now, you know, and then the downfall to that is they're racing us so much more. Like I'm thinking we're gonna be like an 89. I don't know. You're constantly in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Like it's not this year's probably be down a little bit for you.
Yeah, last year we was over 100.
Yeah.
And this year I don't know if we made 100 this year, but not that I want to make 100. But it's just a lot.
But when there's so much money on the line, it's hard not to go race. But then it's like I feel like we really need to be running like 4-man crews plus the driver.
Oh.
Or a 4-man guy, a truck driver, and the driver. Like it's just insane. But to have some sort of a normal life. Like that's what people don't understand. We all the racing is actually the fun part. We all love that, but it's this part here, and then you don't get to see your kids, you don't get to see your wife, you don't get to go to birthdays, you don't get to do this. And then the crew guys, I mean, for what they get paid, they work way too many hours, and that's where that's where I'm anti-Lucas, like because they are such top heavy on their pay. And I feel like Outlaws is trying to do a little bit better in that aspect, but like, just we're like the NFL without a salary cap, and they just keep making these elite teams more elite. Yeah. And we need to. Well,
the biggest problem is there's not enough people for us to get up.
It's because of the burnout factor. Yeah. You know, because they got to work so many hours and do so much for so little pay. Well, if you would get it down to where we could pay more people, and pay whether they can make more money or you can hire another guy, so. You know, if you divide it up, you know, whatever, this many hours worth a week and added in another guy, now everybody has to work less hours, so it takes off some burden. But the higher ups in our sports, for whatever reason, aren't seeing that. Especially like, you know, for me, like we were talking about, you're like, and that's something I know what Bob's told me too, is like, it's easier for me to pay to have this done and let Brian worry about going to be fast. Like where I still want to build my deck panels, build my noses, just because I'm frugal and it's saving me a lot of money at the end of the year. And, you know, all that adds up into payroll and my bottom line.
Expense.
Well, you know, if you just had unlimited and you could just keep stuff rolling in, it makes life a little easier, but it's still so hard to do the amount of work that has to be done. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know how like an average weekly guy can do it. Or, you know, a guy being a mechanic or running a heating and cooling business or something like that and wants to race for fun on the weekend. Like, I have no idea how you can do it, because like I mean we run, you know, I got a really good crew, and I feel like we always feel like we're still running behind. There's always something to do.
I'm telling you, it was Saturday. We're in here.
Saturday, you guys are in here working. We were working before we left the shop.
Yeah, like if you don't, you're gonna be behind. Yeah, you know, and it's tough, but it's the world we live in, and the problem is like what the biggest problem is too is like being able to have more people. Because that's what we need, really.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, both our teams are pretty equipped with 2 guys. You know, tire guy, mechanic, ourselves. But just think how much we contribute to the race team instead of paying attention to racing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why Sheppy, JD, and them guys are so good at what they do. Ricky Thornton Jr. Because listen, they're getting paid to show up and race. Period. Yeah. They don't have to worry about nothing but holding that steering wheel. And that's a big difference.
It is a big difference. I mean, it's
a very big difference.
I mean,
it's almost the difference between the elites and us being, you know, we're still, I feel like my team's even a regional racing team. We're just out there trying to prove that we can do it.
Yeah, and you have success and win a few races here and there, like on the big deal and stuff.
Tough.
And, you know, if things go the right way, but like, you know, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of drivers out there that have the talent, and not even necessarily in late model. There's a lot of mod guys, freestyle guys that have more than enough talent, but maybe never get the opportunity. But it's just so important to have the right people around you and stuff like that. And I guess probably that's why we've always tried to work together and team up, just because we know that it's like we look at like we're fighting a bigger picture together, you know. And if you win, I'm happy, and I feel like if I win, I know you're happy too, you know. I mean,
that's what we do it for.
Yeah, we try to look at the bigger picture so we both can keep making money and winning races.
Yeah, that was always nice when we ran the Pierce car. Was we always agreed, like, you know, we were going to be open notebook. We worked together, and as long as we knew one of us was winning, we knew it wasn't the car that was the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about that even in the beginning. Like, we'll both win enough because we're both going to have our own motor issues. We're gonna have things that'll take us out of the race.
Yeah.
But if we knew one of us was in contention to win, then you knew our program was in the right spot.
And as much as I want to win, if I run second every night and my car's in one piece, I'm making money and not tearing stuff up. And that's a lot of times that's a good deal. If you're paying your own bills and owning your own stuff, I mean, it's hard to not ask for more, you know. So you can't be greedy, but
because you'll win. It's like you showed the last couple
you hang
of
out in
years.
the top three, good things are going to happen.
You're going to be winning races, no problem.
For sure. So, but time is it? Probably about that time. But
yeah, it's almost time for you to go get that money.
Gotta go to the Mars banquet tonight. But just wanted to stop by, do something different. I know a lot of drivers, we get a lot of good feedback when we do, you know, technical stuff and business side of that stuff, and bring somebody, you know, one of my really good buddies that we've had a lot of good luck together and a lot of wins. And Wynn's favorite driver for sure. So she knows her Uncle B. So she got to come see the chickens and goats, and appreciate you having us and going on YouTube with us. And you know, please, if you guys haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And same thing, check out both of our Facebook pages and buy some merch.
Oh yeah, get ready for the dome.
Getting ready for the dome.
That's right.